This is episode number 60 of Real Occult, where we apply numerology and astrology to the material world. Today, you're such a good boy, Gigi. This is episode 60 of Real Occult, where we apply numerology and astrology to the material world. Today, we are chit-chatting, talking about, discussing the volume game and what that means from an energetic perspective. And so, the game in and of itself is anything you are attempting to accomplish, you are engaging with, you are giving time, physical energy, emotional energy, monetary energy. You are giving this activity, this event, this thing, energy in some way. That is what we are going to use as the game. So this could be, let me see, what would be an example? We'll just use, what can we use as an example? We'll use gambling as an example, betting on something. This could be anything, just the act of betting on something. And so if you, from an energetic perspective, because we all have accumulated levels of karma, if you are attempting to win money through betting, wagering, propositioning, whatever you want to call it, you have to give at least equal amount of energy if you are the most perfect human being on the planet and you have no accumulated karma, and this is what you are absolutely perfectly meant and destined to do, and the universe is going to give you everything you ever want and never test you in any way, shape, or form through this avenue, which is not any of us. And so, if you want to win $100, you have to give the universe at least $100 worth of energy. Now, that could be literally in $100 right off the bat and nothing else. That could be you are wagering $50 and you have such a heavy emotional attachment to it that when you lose it, it feels like you're losing 100. There's all these different ways that you can give. That could just be spent in raw time. You are wagering or betting or propositioning $5, and yet you spent 2 hours of your time, and your time's worth $50 an hour. And so however you can gather up to that volume of energy, you have to give the universe at least that amount in order to get it back. And so in any endeavor you're going to do, most of us, because we have some level of accumulated karma, we have to give more than we are going to get back. And you can give however that is, time, energy, emotions. You have to give more than you receive. And that difference, that delta, that is our accumulated karma. So the whole reason I'm even recording this, because by the way, if you're interested in more in-depth actual numerology and astrology breakdowns, school.com/real occult. It's our free community. I run a 164 kid before school, after school program where we help parents and their children. And then this free community is where we teach online, digitally, completely free, where we teach parents how to improve their children's spiritual foundation through our multi-layered numerology and astrology system. So if you're interested in more in-depth numerology, astrology breakdowns, like tonight is actually the new moon in Scorpio. Very cool, very fun. The last one of this 9 universal year and of this entire 9-year cycle as a whole. that began in the Rooster 2017 year, second trine, opening of the 9-year cycle. We now have the second trine, the Snake 2025, 9 universal year, closing that energetic cycle. And this is the last new moon of that entire cycle. So very cool, very interesting stuff. The entire reason I'm making this recording, which are simply the thoughts I have randomly as they pop in my head, and I decide to share them and rant and talk randomly and jump all over the place, is I saw a video online with a private equity business owner, and they were talking about, if I want to accumulate a $1 billion portfolio, I'm guaranteed to lose millions of dollars in that process through poor hiring decisions, through bad marketing choices, through lost customers, and whatever it is. I'm guaranteed to lose millions of dollars in the pursuit of building this multi-billion dollar portfolio. And it's like, you have to give more than you get. Part of that giving can be done monetarily. And so if you remember that as you're going through challenging times, as you're going through hardships, it helps you stay in the game, because the purpose of playing the game is to continue to play the game. That's what we're doing here in this game of life as a whole. We're here to play the game. And instead of having Saturn and its ring drag us forward through life, we might as well play the game that we're meant to be playing and have fun and enjoy the experience while we're doing it. Knowing that as I'm losing physically, as I'm losing emotionally, as I'm losing monetarily in these moments, I'm just putting those deposits in energetically so that I can get that energy back in a new way through a new experience. That hopefully, if I'm doing everything I should be doing, which I know I should be doing, the universe will be supporting me and supporting you in getting it done. Meaning having positive, good experiences, which is what we're aiming to do. And so this person in the video mentioned the phrase, "What are you so afraid of losing when nothing in this world is yours?" And now if we go loop this whole thing around back to the betting or gambling example, why would you be afraid of putting $5 down on something that could return 50, 10x, when that $5 isn't even yours? Volume matters. Playing the game matters. The purpose of the game is to continue playing. So if you are betting, propositioning, instead of doing 5, why don't you do 50? Why don't you do 500? Why don't you do 5,000? As long as it's within your budget. Caveat, within your budget. I'm not here to don't go blow all your money doing something goofy like gambling. That's just the example I'm using as an easy energetic example, using money as the energy we're exchanging. That's true in any endeavor. If you're going to hit golf balls, instead of going to hit 50, why don't you go hit 500? And now you go hit 500 balls 500 times. Instead of going to hit 50 balls 5 times. You're giving the universe energy so that you can get energy back. You go and hit 500 balls 500 times. And now the energy you get back is when you're sitting there on the 9th hole and you stroke one perfect. ...120 yards land it 3 feet from the pin. The group you're playing with are gasping in awe at how you could possibly do something so amazing and unbelievable. But you have to give the universe 500 trips of hitting 500 balls. And so the volume of inputs you and I deliver to the universe determines the intensity of those outputs. Newton's third law: for every input, there's an equal and opposite output. The volume of inputs you give determines the volume of outputs you receive. If you want to jack up those outputs, you got to put in more inputs. Point blank, period. I grew up in Las Vegas, which is why the gambling example came to mind, by the way. I grew up in Las Vegas. And I remember when I was in middle school or high school, Floyd Mayweather hit like a $5 million take from one of the local casinos, right? I think from the M or something that was right in Southern Highlands. And I remember thinking how insane that is, until I realized in reading the story, he was betting like $5,000 a pop. And it's like, yeah, if you bet $5,000 5,000 times, you'd probably win some money too. Most of us can't afford to bet $5,000 5,000 times. And we wouldn't want to, because that's not how we utilize our energy. But that's just an example. It's like, okay, if you're betting $5 and you did that 500 times, yeah, it would be unbelievably, amazingly insane if you hit $5 million. Because the energy disparity is so insane, you're going to pay for it in so many different ways. Because the universe will energetically balance. It always does. Because it's Newton's third law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Balance, equilibrium, homeostasis. That's all I've got today. If you are still listening, I genuinely appreciate you. This was a crazy recording. We were all over the place. I hope it made sense. If you haven't been playing the game, jump in, get playing, get your feet wet, start putting some volume into it. Growing up ice skating, I grew up and learned how to ice skate, and then I went and played hockey in college, right? And I learned very early on ice skating that things take time and everything is a volume game. When the teacher told me, you see that girl skating over there, and she's pointing at the girl across the rink. You see her skating? You're not going to do that today. And you probably aren't going to do that by the end of this week. But by the end of the month, you'll be doing that. It's like, wow, okay. So no matter how hard I try today, that's not going to be me. Got it. Okay, that kind of makes sense. But if I do this every single day and try super, super hard every single day, I might be waddling around by the end of the week. That's pretty cool. And if I do that for a couple of weeks, I want to be doing that, like what she's doing. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Volume. So if you haven't been in the game, get in the game. This is a perfect time to start. The universe is on your side. We're closing all of these energetic loops. We're getting ready to open an entire brand new 9-year cycle. Get in the game. If you are in the game, I encourage you to just step up the volume, whatever you're doing. See if you can tack a 0 onto it. Don't do something crazy. Don't do something goofy. If you are, like the wagering example, if you're propositioning or betting $10 a week, don't start doing 100. Especially if you can't afford it. If you're doing, one workout a week, don't try to start doing 6. But try to tack on some more volume. And if you are doing like a workout example, instead of trying to, increase the volume or increase the intensity of the workout, just think, how long can I do this? Instead of thinking about doing this for the summer, let me see if I could do this for the whole year. How can I get more volume and more inputs delivered into the universe? If you're still listening, I genuinely appreciate you. You are a rock star. The universe wants you to win. I want you to win. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, Tristan@realoccult.com. I work with families all day long. I work with kids all day long. I am more than happy to help you however I can. The universe is on your side. We simply have to demonstrate we have learned the lessons we are meant to learn in this lifetime so that we can ultimately fulfill the role we are meant to fulfill, meaning fulfilling our karmic destiny. Send me an email, Tristan@realoccult.com. You can also check out our free school community, skool.com/real occult. I will talk to you again soon.